FM and 1180 AM. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Bringing you the best in Blount County sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore, longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Daily Times sports reporter Caleb Giroux. Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Aruli is also on board this morning, and this is the GoTeez sports page. The Tennessee Vols conclude spring football practice, and we're going till the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will report on the latest high school spring sports scores involving Blount County teams, and we'll follow up with some national sports stories. Marcus Fitzsimmons will be on board to update us on what's happening in local high school sports. Marcus will present his feature Mark It Down and the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segments. Eagleton softball and Alcoa boys basketball will be on the agenda. I'll close out the Tennessee spring football game, report on how the basketball Vols are doing in the transfer portal, update UT baseball and softball, and throw in some other volunteer sports news. The Let Her Rip segment is set to go, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Good morning, everybody, on a, I don't know, it's a spring, but it's summertime around here, isn't it? I mean to tell you. Huh?
Good out there, yes.
Yeah, and you're not a kidding.
Need some rain. The pollen's killing me.
Yeah, I know, me too. And the wind keeps it blowing it all over the place. But good to see all of you this morning. Welcome back, Tony.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah,
good to be here.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your Carson Newman spring football.
Yeah, spring game last Saturday. So, yeah, it was good.
Did y'all win the spring game?
It was a tie.
Yeah.
Just like Tennessee.
Just like Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was a 10-7 game, but we won. So that's the bottom line.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a winner.
Yeah, that's right.
Donnie Moore, I'm ready to go with the Let Her Rip segment, and I've still got the transfer portal on my mind.
Well, it's kind of hard to get off, Mike, after all that they've accomplished or lack of accomplishment this year.
It's that time of year, and my mind, like a bad headache, just can't seem to get rid of it.
Can't shake it.
Yeah, you got 10 pages of notes, so let it go, man.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
Well, as I look at the free-for-all of giving money to basketball and football players who jump schools for whatever reason they might have, such as the not getting playing time, don't like the coach, don't like the style of play, or just want more money or whatever, they can enter transfer portal numerous times, and players take advantage of this broken system. Players hold the cards. System favors them, and they know it. Parties that suffer are the coaches and fans. Coaches have to rebuild rosters every year, whether they have a good season or not, and are expected to win every season. Money handed out, you better win, and fill the stadiums and the arenas. Fans, they are hit hard also. Higher ticket prices, donation, high-priced parking, NIL fees, inflated concession prices. And let's talk about the fans. They're fitting the big part of the financial backing for these minor league sports sponsored by universities. If the players have sold their souls to the transfer portal, should fans expect them to perform as professional players? There doesn't seem to be very much loyalty. These players jump schools. If they don't excel, can these fans voice their displeasure however they might want to voice it? And can social media voice and the press, can they both voice their opinions of what's going on out there? In other words, if you bring in a shooter, he better be able to score, and if you bring in a rebounder, he better be able to rebound, or you bring in a point guard, he better be able to handle the ball, and all of them be able to perform and put your program where it needs to be every year, considering the fact that they may be gone the next year. I'll start with you, Tony Iruli. How do you feel? Should schools and fans, for the most part, should they be able to voice their opinion on these players, since they hold all the cards and they're getting paid the big money like professional athletes? Should they be more open to professional standards when it comes to criticism and so forth, or not?
Well, first of all, it's not college sports anymore.
No more.
Yeah, it's in a way it's sort of like minor league system, but it happens to play their games on a college campus.
Right.
So that's the mentality of it right now. I mean, that's why you see these court cases where some of these players, they're trying to get another year or two in college because, one, they know they're not really at the pro level, but they're making $3-4 million at the college. You know, the quarterback at Vanderbilt, you know, is a great example of that. You know, he was still fighting to get a couple more years.
That's pretty good money for a 19, 20-year-old.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And
That's good money for anybody.
yeah.
Well, and that brings me to my next
point
question.
entirely.
And this is the reason why Nick Saban got out of it. He saw all this happening.
He foresaw everything.
And Tony, I'll go right back to you because of the big money, and you're mentioning that it's not, you know, college sports aren't what they used to be, and they're dealing out the money and so forth.
Yeah.
We got kids playing that are, you know, some of them 24, 25, 26 years old.
At least.
Are we dealing with kids or men now?
Yes.
Because and the reason I'm asking that is because back in the day when you were a so-called kid coming in as a freshman or whatever, and you performed well enough to get playing time and so forth, but there was always that, well, he's young, you know, and he's mature and he's going to get better and he looks good out there. They're willing to give that time. And now, I don't know, with these kids jumping and the money involved and everything, are they kids or men?
Yeah, I mean, you know, these colleges, they're not going to bring in a freshman and pay him $4 million to have him sit on the bench. You know, they're going to judge him quickly and say, well, why isn't he playing right now? I mean, evidently someone made a mistake. He's not good enough to play. Why are we paying him $4 or $5 million?
So are you saying we need to throw the kids out of the scenario and talk just men? Men?
Yeah, they're not boys or girls anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, they're old enough to vote, but you're talking about guys talking about $1 million contracts that can't buy cigarettes, can't buy beer, can't rent a car, but yet they are responsible enough to negotiate 7-figure contracts.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean,
they're kids pretending to be men.
Is that what it is?
Yes, or having to grow up and try to be men before their time.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, when I was a kid, I didn't get this type of allowance. Did you, Tony?
I thought you were the only exception. You're the one that started this movement.
You got $35 in laundry money, Mike.
Yeah, $15. I should go.
15.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. 15.
All right, let me go beyond this now. Since we're getting this big money, I got a college coach sitting right next to me. Should the coaches have the right to fine the players?
Well, you can
for
in the NFL.
disciplinary reasons, whatever it might be, like the pros. The pros fine players for various reasons. Should coaches have the right to fine players if they're making
I think it's
$1 million?
I think it's going to eventually evolve to that. I mean, why not? I mean, you know, well, you missed practice, so we're going to go ahead and have you stay and run 2 100-yard sprints after practice because you're late. No, I mean, we're going to fine you $500, $50,000 because you missed a practice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
But the problem being the same thing that we said when some of these states where they're going to be state employees next season. It's the competitive disadvantage. Nobody's going to do it. The way it's structured right now, the university could have the NILs put in there. You're going to get paid to attend class. You get a bonus for going to class and graduating. But nobody's doing that because they see it as a competitive disadvantage. Yep. Because the kid, unlike the pros, the kids aren't in a multi-year contract.
No, they're not.
They can leave at any point, including in the middle of the season if they want.
Okay.
Certainly, and so that's why you're starting to see college kids. They've been to 3 or 4 different schools. There's no restrictions. They got a better deal transferring and going to play at a different school compared to the pro players.
And that brings me to some of my other questions that I've got here. Should the NIL money be reduced during the season for subpar performance? Let's say you're paying a kid big money and he's not playing. Should you have the right to reduce his pay during the season?
Basically, he's under a 1-year contract.
I'm saying if it was
you have the right to do anything. There's no rules. You can fine them. You could reduce their pay. You could cut them.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I'm
it's
just throwing all these
nobody's
things out here. I like these
because
things.
if you start fining players, well, if he's coaching at another school, he's telling all the recruits, hey, don't go over there. He's going to fine you.
Hey, listen.
Hey, don't go over there. You have a bad game. He's going to cut your pay.
If I'm a college coach and this kid has transferred into my school coming from 2 other schools, you think I'm going to be too concerned about fining that kid or whatever?
No. And
no, I'm not.
Yeah, and evidently when a kid can go ahead and be out of school and start taking classes, and the opposing coach can go ahead and call him while in the middle of classes and convince him to come to his school right in the middle of the semester.
Yeah,
and
let's take it a step further. You know, since we're all in agreement,
that was the Ole Miss
we got
coach.
we got a pro situation over there, and we know the kids have the right to leave during the season. What about during the year that the kid's not performing, and you just decide to put him on waivers? You just decide to put him on waivers to see if another university will pick him up. He's not any use to us. I'm going to put him on waivers.
Well,
to see if he can.
Yeah.
Huh?
But
I
he's
don't
still
like that
being.
deal.
He's still being paid by the.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, we either need to do two things. We have two alternate choices for this NIL. It's you either get rid of it completely, or you don't regulate it at all, because it's going to be that way anyway.
Well, right now, it's not being regulated.
What you're saying is all these things that are pro things should be on the table.
Well, I'm saying if you're going to have it,
if you're going to have
if you're going to have NIL, you can't regulate it. It's hard to regulate because it's business.
Then Caleb, since we don't have any rules, how come some of this isn't being thrown out there for leverage for some of these universities, especially coaches? I would think that they would start bringing some of this up. They're the ones that have They're the ones that have to regroup their programs.
The players have all the power, and again, nobody's going to come play. Like if Rick Barnes came out and said, "I'm going to start fining players if they don't show up, and I'm going to cut their pay if they don't perform," nobody's coming to Tennessee. Because why would you go to Tennessee and get the threat of fines and dock and pay when you can go to any other university in the country and just get paid to do whatever you want?
Exactly right. There's no rules.
There's payday every day.
Yeah, there's no rules, and it's all about the recruiting tactics. Because again, you look at Tennessee; they've been really successful with the transfer portal kids. Well, they can sell that to other transfer portal kids, and they can say, "Hey, you don't want to go to XYZ University, you won't perform. Come here. Look at what Dalton Connect, Chaz Lanier, and all these guys did." You start finding kids, that's going to get out, and nobody will come to Tennessee.
No.
Good point. They're paying people in this transfer portal that aren't even performing. You telling me that Estrella kid that's played over here at UT, averaging 5 points a game, that was hurt about 3/4 of the time, goes to Michigan and signs for $2.5 million?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think that's what happened, though.
Come on. And I also heard a report on TV that some of these guys are in the transfer portal that didn't even average 3 points a game, and their minimum is $1 million for somebody to pick them up.
Someone said that it was like
they're not performing.
There's like 2,000 players in the transfer portal that average 3 points or less.
Yes. Now, $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it. You saw it, Tony.
Yeah,
and this is
all about
one of those
money.
things I think gets missed when we talk about this. And when it's one of the key changes that's influencing these things is, Mike, when you played, if you were being evaluated by the pros, they looked at your game tape. That was how they got interested. They saw you scored 25 or something against Kentucky. Now, from the recruiting services that are rating the kids in high school, they're rating the kids in the transfer portal, to the professional leagues who are not looking so much at how they played in the game as how they're evaluating them in camps and the combines and things like that. That leverage for playing time is gone because the kids don't know that they don't have to necessarily have that playing time to be on the court or be on the field, because they've had somebody tell them, well, the pros are already looking at you. They're already evaluating you as a first-round draft.
Right.
The other day I counted on my email. I've got over 4,000 emails from these recruiting services rating. I got one rating a 8th grader as a 4-star recruit, potential 5-star by the time he's a sophomore in high school. A lot of coaches don't look at these stuff. I mean, anyone can say, okay, I'm an evaluator.
Can you say that again for all the parents out there who are getting approached
you
by all these
are
services?
You are wasting your money. It's just a money scam that goes on. Anyone can be a recruiter and all that. Most coaches don't even open up all these stuff that comes to on our desk from these recruiting services, because we'd rather go out there and check the guys out ourselves. So don't waste your money doing that, but they're not listening to me. So,
in answer to your question, back at the time I played, the emphasis on going pro was not what it is today. Social media wasn't out there. Coverage wasn't out there. Kids went to college to get, to go to school, to get a scholarship and to go to school. Where the pro end of it came into play, and I'm somewhat of an example. My parents wanted me to get a scholarship because they weren't able to put me in school, and I chose Tennessee to go to play and to get that scholarship because it gave me the best opportunity, I felt like, to play in a really good conference and to play early as a sophomore.
Sure.
Freshmen weren't eligible. Well, as my career progressed and I came to my last year, it looked like there was an opportunity that I could go on. But as I got to that point, because kids didn't look at it the way they do today,
They don't. You're right.
I played for a school that played a zone defense all the time. All the time. We never played a man-to-man defense. We did not play a pro game. It was a two-man game on each side of the court. We didn't really run a fast break, so to speak. So the style of play, what I'm saying, that I played did not fit the pro game.
Didn't transfer well to the pro game.
It just did not transfer to the pro game. Now today, a kid wouldn't sign up for that kind of program.
No.
He would be more looking at a program. And of course, there's not very many, if any, of those programs out there now, because everybody pitches the pro game, in their offense and so forth.
They do.
But that was an entirely different situation, and that could apply, Tony, to football and basketball. A lot of guys went to football schools that they didn't throw the ball. They just ran the football.
Right.
And if you're a throwing quarterback going to that school, even though you were a good quarterback in that system, you didn't throw the ball enough to maybe warrant going to the pros. Y'all understand what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. But it was not the emphasis back then. The emphasis was to get your degree.
Correct. Well, first of all, how many of these players in college now, how many of them are actually going to classes?
Yeah, well, Caleb could probably answer that question better than anybody.
Well, the ones who know they're not going to the NFL are going to class, or going to the NBA are going to class. I can tell you that much, Tony.
Yeah.
But you see, a lot of it, you look at players, like, it just depends. So, like, a player like Nate Ament, his family is big on education. They're making him go to class. Yeah. Even if he's one and done, he's going to get his classes done. But some of these other guys, there's baseball players right now at universities who've already stopped going to class.
Yep.
Because they know at the end of the year they're going to the draft. They don't need school. So they've mailed it in. Because guess what?
Yeah.
You're halfway through the semester. You're eligible.
And I think that's sad.
You only need
they're doing that.
Well, like I said,
need 6.5 hours during the semester that your sport is going to be eligible.
And the guys that are doing that, Caleb, are the guys that are really not interested in school. They haven't been interested in school when they came in here. Now you got the guy that's interested in school, that may want to graduate, that's making maybe $1.5 million up every year as he plays.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at $1.5 million every year. You're looking at maybe, $6 million or so when you get done with school. Plus, you could have an education and the $6 million in the bank in the hand.
Yeah.
So those guys have those guys have a decision they have to make.
And a lot of these kids have to go to school because this is the most money they'll ever make.
Right.
If you're a 6'10" or 7-foot player in the transfer portal right now, you're going to get probably $2 million next year because guess what? Every team needs one.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
But you're not going to go to the NBA. A lot of these players, like we said, their games don't fit the NBA. What NBA teams are going to draft like a 7-foot rim protector? Yeah, that just doesn't happen anymore. You got to spread the floor. So some of these kids have to go to school because they know the checks they're cashing now might be the most money they get.
Well, the quarterback from Miami last year, he said he hadn't been in classes for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
and he had been in college for 6 or 7 years.
Somebody's getting the grades.
Good discussion. Good discussion. And Donnie Moore, I will not bring up the transfer portal in the Let It Rip segment next week.
Sounds good,
Okay.
Mike.
Hey,
we've covered it.
Yeah, I'll be watching that one.
Since we are there, the master of the transfer portal is Rick Barnes, and he seems to be one of the coaches that really enjoys doing it. And last week he got Jalen Harrelson, a 6'7", 220-pounder wing, with a lot of good size and a lot of good strength, very good defensive player, outside shooter. His outside shooting been a little inconsistent, but he did average 16.2 points a game last year and 4 boards. Former McDonald's All-American coming in from Notre Dame. So that was a good
It will.
That was a good hire. That was a good selection
a good
in the
pickup.
portal next.
A lot of
week.
these coaches, like Tony Iruli mentioned, a lot of these coaches retire or quit because of the transfer portal NIL. Rick Barnes is upped at another level. He's using it. And I think you look at the track record, and it really recruits itself because you get a guy in like Jalen Harrelson who, wants to be a pro guy, and Rick Barnes can say, look, I've coached Dalton Connect. He went from nothing to the pros. I coached Chaz Lanier. He went from North Florida to he's in the G League now. And then you look at, this past year, he got transfers in who elevated their game. And at the same time, while using the transfer portal, he's been in the Elite Eight the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with all the roster turnover. So you can sell kids on development, teaching you're going to win, and the track record is there. And luckily for him, too, Tennessee has a lot of money.
Yeah,
It makes it a lot easier.
And plus now you can go into the G League. You can go into the G League and come back to your college and play for another 4 weeks. I mean, that's
and he never gets bored of his players because he's got a whole new group every year. But so far he's got Miles Rubin that's come in here, 6'10", 205-pounder, 10.8 points a game. He's coming in from Loyola. And Day Ames, point guard, 6'2", 190. He's coming in from California, averaged 16.3 points a game last year. And, of course, we mentioned Jalen Harrelson, and then he's got the Tyler Lundblade that played at Belmont last year, an outstanding outside shooter at 16 points a game. So there's 4, looks to me like 4 pretty good players that's going to fit into the system.
And they're in the mix.
And they've got Chris Washington at 6'9" from Providence Christian Academy, 19.5 points a game last year and over 2,000 career. And then he's already got the others that are coming in, newbies, that, so to speak, Ralph Scott, Manny Green, and Marquis Clark.
And you know what these pickups look like too, Mike. We've always talked about how a Rick Barnes team is going to play defense and muddy up the game and slow it down. These guys can score, so it looks like Rick is taking a little bit of I wouldn't say a full heel turn because they're still going to play defense, but you realize that it takes scoring to win championships, and he went out and got scores. I mean, Miles Rubin is going to be a great paint presence. They don't have a true big on this team. They're not going to have a 7-footer like they've had in the past, but they've got Dwayne Brown coming back to mix with Miles Rubin in the paint. Then you look at a guy like Tyler Lundblade, who's a pure shooter who could make use of those Chaz Lanier, Dalton Connect pin down screens we saw the past 2 years. And then you got a guy like Dede Ames who can just score the basketball. So you're looking at a team now that, maybe defensively won't be what Rick Barnes wants, but they're going to be able to score, and that'll win a lot of basketball games.
He's lost 8 players. That's a roster turnover right there.
Yeah.
That's a complete roster turnover, and Barnes is as good as anyone in the country of bringing people in here to fill in for what he's lost. Now, the players that he's lost, Cade Phillips is committed to go to Texas A&M. J.P. Estrella's going to Michigan. Bishop Boswell to Maryland. Amari Evans to Texas, and Ethan Berg has decided to go back to Israel. So he's lost all of those players. Of course, Troy Henderson decided to come back. He was in the portal and came out of it. I have not heard anything about Clarence Masamba or Jalen Carey. Have you heard anything on either one of those? Or any
they're
rumors?
both in the portal. I think Masamba was maybe looking at coming back, but after some of the portal pickups, he's decided to go. And then Jalen Carey committed to Missouri out of the portal.
Very good. Very good. Tony Aruli.
I got a headache right now.
We're gonna talk some Tennessee spring football here during the show, but I'll fill us in on Carson Newman. How'd you do up there in your spring game and so forth?
I tell you, it was really I've been up there for 15 years. That's really one of the best springs we've had. I mean, it was productive on both sides of the ball. A lot of great energy. Coach, this was Coach Tyler Allman's first year in spring. Since he was being named the head coach back in December, and it just we're at a good place right now, and we were very productive. We had a good spring game. It was a complete spring game too. Usually, spring games there was restrictions on hitting and everything. We both kind of went at it. It was a low-scoring game.
A true spring game. What you're saying?
True spring game. Yeah, it was a.
It made Coach Hersman proud.
Yeah. Yes. It was a defensive struggle on both sides.
Yeah.
And but it was good, and we got. A couple things we found out. One, we finished up spring with former Alcoa quarterback Eli Graff as our number 1 quarterback going into the fall. And I tell you what, he's really a special young man. I mean, there's something. He's one of those guys that you see him and you say, well, he's not. He's not what you're looking for.
He doesn't look impressive.
He's got that knack. Whatever it is, you can't figure out what it is. but he's got a way of doing things and doing things well. And where there's plays that all of our coaches were saying, "Wow, I can't believe he did that."
Yeah, he makes things happen.
Yeah, exactly right. He's productive, makes things happen.
Yeah.
So he's going in as our number one quarterback. Another of Alcoa, Jamar Turner, defensive lineman, about 290 pounds. He's coming in as our second string defensive tackle. Had a good spring. Caleb Graham transferred from graduated from Maryville High School, went to I want to say Austin P. Then transferred over there. He's our starting nose guard for us. Has had a good spring. Then Logan McCamery, another Maryville High School player, his second string offensive lineman, doing real good. And we did sign from William Blunt, Xander Monroe. Played defensive line. We're going to move him to offensive line, and he signed and committed with us. So, it's very productive for the Blount County guys. But like I said, it was a really enjoyable spring. We just got done with it, and we're off recruiting right now.
Coach, you got to learn a couple phrases from Alcoa.
What's that?
You need to start practicing this, and you can share with the head coach for interviews. Eli does what Eli does.
That's totally correct.
And the other phrase to practice is, our playbook's called the Book of Eli.
There you go.
It's biblical.
There you go.
The Book of Eli. But I tell you,
y'all got Mason Justice this week as well, signing from Heritage, right?
Yep.
Offensive lineman.
Yep. So it's been, like I said, it's been pretty good for us, and so we're just going to be continuing a lot of good things in our program. We're really upbeat. We've got 11 game schedule. We got 7 of the games at home, so it's
good.
Yeah, so it's good. Very
the
good play.
transition from one coach to the other in spring practice, as far as offensive and defensive schemes, has a lot of things been kept the same.
Kept the same, yeah. When you go to Carson Newman, you're expecting option offense. Yeah. And coming from the Ken Sparks days to where we are right now, so we're going to run the offense sort of like what you see from the Naval Academy. Good discipline. Our defense coordinator, Tyler Elman's now our head coach. All the defense coaches stayed, and so we're at a good place. The one thing I'm impressed with our coaching staff, we really have a lot of good young coaches, and a lot of them are way beyond the Division II level type of a coach that you're looking at, like me. All right, so they've got great futures ahead of them, and I really enjoy going over there and working with these guys.
Yeah. Good, very good. Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide some high school scores from around the area and some other news, sporting news from around the area, and then veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons will join us with his feature Mark It Down. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925. Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the GoTeez Sports Page. Donnie Moore, when you're talking about spring sports, softball, track, baseball, a lot of things going on right now.
Oh,
but I'll tell you one thing, they've had good weather.
They sure have.
They really. This has been a marquee spring.
Yeah, you can't always expect
sports.
that either.
No,
this time of year.
No.
So they've been very fortunate around the area.
Yeah.
Local high schools have.
Yeah, well, give us some scores.
You got it. I have a few for you today, Marcus. If you see any that I don't have, jump in there. Go ahead.
I think I have the other news to cover. I think I'll.
Okay.
You got scores in hand.
Good deal. All right. Let's start with baseball in our Mandy B. Street Realty local focus. Mandy B. Street Realty, that's who you need to see for all of your realty needs. Baseball, start with baseball. We got, these are all yesterday's games. Alcoa played Pigeon Forge, and Alcoa is now 14-7 on the season. Pigeon Forge is now 22-2, and they came into this game only losing one contest, and Alcoa put it to them 14-1. So you know, Pigeon Forge is usually a pretty good program.
They're a real good program,
Yeah.
and this is one that became an instant rivalry 3 years ago, and is staying that way. This will not be the last time these two teams meet.
Oh no, absolutely not. Another score I have for you is Greenback over Polk County in a run rule contest, 10-0. Baseball. Good job, Cherokees. Let's see. Heritage versus William Blunt happened last night.
That was the strikeout cancer game, I believe.
I think you're right. I think it was the strikeout cancer game, which is an annual event between the two schools. William Blunt wins this game 13-2 over the Mountaineers. That's all the baseball scores I've got. Moving over to softball now. I have Wartburg defeating Greenback 9-1. Wartburg, yeah, I got you. And moving over to soccer, Alcoa versus South Doyle. South Doyle comes out victorious in this one. Alcoa fails to score, so 4-0.
Alcoa's offense has been struggling the last week 10 days. Not sure exactly what's been going on, but I don't have the insight into inside that huddle. But they had a tough time against Maryville, and South Doyle is somebody they're going to have to face if they're going to get to back to the state tournament.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's the path we'll run through between that meeting.
Gotcha. Mike, I heard you mention, or heard somebody mention Providence Academy.
Yes.
A few minutes ago. Well, Providence Academy won their soccer match versus the Kings Academy 3-2 last night.
Providence is
Probably not the same Providence.
No, it is. It's down there.
What I'm talking about is down in Florida, isn't it?
No, it's down in Murfreesboro.
No, it's
it is Murfreesboro.
It's
Yeah.
Murfreesboro, but it's
I'm sorry.
kind of forming up, kind of like IMG is in Florida.
Okay.
It's becoming
okay.
something like that. It's not that at that level yet, but it's definitely working on that model.
Well, I was in the right state, just wrong program.
But Donnie, I know Maryville had signing day.
Maryville
so
did have signing
I believe they
day.
had 10 names to run through.
That's
there.
correct. 10 names to run through. So I'll take an opportunity to congratulate those guys. Maryville's very kind for sending the email too.
Well, I'll say this:
informing of it.
Landon Harris has been really good, especially with signing days, about letting people know and giving us the names in advance. And he went ahead and announced he was retiring.
Yes.
And Brad White's going to be taking his place as AD next year. So Maryville will have a new athletic director after 4 years of Coach Harris being the AD.
I'm sure they won't miss a beat.
I don't know. He's going to be a hard act to follow.
He will be. That's for sure. All right, let's look over these 10 who signed for different programs from Maryville High School. Ellison Mutaw signed in dance with Middle Tennessee State University.
And she's a great story. I'm hoping we'll get a chance to talk to her before the season ends. But she basically stepped away from dance for about 4 years and just came back into it for senior season and just impressed people
blowing
right
everybody
away.
Huh?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Abigail Wester signed with women's soccer at Tusculum University. That's a good program up there. Macy Hemphill signed for softball to Roan State Community College. Kasai Goen signed with track and field to King University. Where is King University, Marcus?
It's up there in Northwest Tennessee.
Okay. I thought it was Northwest.
And they've got a very competitive track program up there.
Cool.
That's a good match for both of them.
Mm-hmm. Lily Lentz is a wrestler, women's wrestler, signing with the University of the Cumberlands. That's a thing that's exploding right now, isn't it, Marcus?
Cumberland's has done. I think they're kind of leading the pack as far as in Division II, in the NAIA, as far as how that's developing on the college level, and it's being developed more on the college level because Team USA is putting more money into women's wrestling because it's an Olympic sport, and it's something where you're seeing some dollars that weren't there 10 years ago that you're seeing now, and it's definitely grasping on to the growth in Tennessee high school.
It's trending, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jackson Rutledge is a football player, signed with Campbellsville University. Is that Kentucky? Campbellsville?
It is. I want to say no. I'm struggling with it. But he's not the first Blount County athlete to go there. I think there's a small contingent up there right now.
Good. We'll figure it out. Cameron Porter signed as another football player who signed grant and aid with Maryville College. So he's gonna play for the Scots next year.
What sport is that?
Yeah. Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron Porter. Jordan Jones is a cheerleader, signing with Tennessee Tech University. Congratulations to Jordan. Here's a women's volleyball player from Maryville High School, Bree Taylor, signing with King University. And Jack Behrens signed to further his education and career in shooting sports.
Yes.
Nice. Shooting sports. Signed with Lindenwood University, and I have no idea where Lindenwood is.
It's kind of like when we talk about like the fishing teams.
Yeah.
That's one of the places you want to go.
I got you.
For that on the NCAA level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll kick in there. We didn't have it in the news, but Jordan Jones is not the only person headed Tennessee Tech.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The news was in the Daily Times earlier this week, but Coach Raul Placeres is leaving Maryville College, and he is taking over the head job at Tennessee Tech.
At Tech. Nice.
So he will be
we wish
directing
him well.
the Golden Eagles up there. It's a huge loss for MC,
It
but
sure is.
great opportunity for him. We're going to miss having him around. He's been on this show for years now, since he was Randy Lambert's assistant.
It's been great, hasn't he? He sure has. All right, you got anything?
I'm wrapped. I'm wrapped with the news.
Let me
Prep
get
news
out
is
of here
good.
then. Now we're going to take it over to our compadre and the guy that keeps us glued together, Marcus Fitzsimmons, for his feature, Mark It Down, after I tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM, Mid-Century Radio. Marcus?
Well, thanks, Donnie.
You're welcome.
You get better with that handoff all the time.
You got to do something right after 40 years.
Well, we have finally succeeded after much effort and much consultation back and forth. We have special guests this morning. Eagleton softball is joining us. Coach Bean was able to convince some players to get up this morning and come join us on a Saturday morning, and maybe he traded them a couple laps off of practice. I'm not sure. But, Coach, we appreciate you bringing them in. Let's start off with going down the line, introducing who you brought in this morning. I'll let them wave to the camera as you give them an introduction.
Okay. On the end down here, we have Lila Campbell. She's our only senior we have this year. Plays center field for us. And in the middle is Kyla Long. She's a junior. She's our shortstop and pitches. And next to me is Ella Borbeck. She's our pitcher and plays first. And she's a sophomore, and they're a great group of girls.
Well, Coach, let me get you with the hard one right off the bat. I'm going to come across with a fastball, all right? The district has changed.
Yeah.
For people who haven't been keeping track, what does this district look like now, and where do you all kind of sit at this point, because we're closing in on district tournament?
Yeah, it's always been in the past. We've talked about it every year that when Alcoa was in our district that that's who we were going to have to beat. Mm-hmm. But we at least wanted to finish second so we can move on down into regions and hopefully sub-state, which is what we did last year. And this year, losing Alcoa and Austin East and Oneida, and brought in Cumberland Gap and Claiborne County. So
your travel didn't improve one bit.
no, it did not improve one bit.
Okay.
But saying that, it's given us an opportunity to win the district outright this year. We're sitting at 7-0 right now. We have one more game at Claiborne County next Tuesday, and we go up there and take care of business, and then we'll finish regular season, and we'll get to host district tournament this year. So.
And that's going to be, you were setting me up for that, and I'm so happy you did, because that was going to be my next question, and I'm going to throw this to the girls. Do you all just get the fact that everybody walks in your ballpark and goes, oh, my God? Does that register with you all what a great place you have to call a home field?
For sure.
Is it, and because of what you had, the transition's like, just having your own space, your own locker room, the stuff that's yours, is that just a great change from having to go depend on Parks and Rec?
Yes, absolutely. Coming from all of my years at playing from Eagleton, because I came from 6th grade to my year now, when we would play at the old field, it was awful. And our locker room we shared it with like every other sport. So coming from where we are now, it's a lot better.
Coach, for you, you go from having to put everything in the car and truck it around to where you need to go to having a place to store everything, but now you're responsible for all of it. So what's it like for your end of the deal?
No, it's been great. It's not having to take care of the field anymore as far as, dragging and lying and all stuff. I don't miss that one bit. But that frees up to do all this stuff. Now, I will say, when we play these home games, or like Alcoa last night, or wherever we go close, I still have to load it up in my car. But but everything else, it's been amazing. And the partnership now, the people that are running the park down there, they're working with us to make sure we have everything we need. So I have no complaints whatsoever. No complaints.
Do you have coaches kind of coming over and how did you pull this off? Asking questions and trying to figure out how you got a facility like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's I know there's been some other people in the county that man, we need something like this, or and I know there are several places that need some upgrades. It just worked out. We had no place to play, and I couldn't think. The county commission, the mayor, and all them have done a great job making sure we got somewhere for our kids that they deserved, and that's the great thing about all this.
All right, so we'll say that the county did a wonderful job using that America Recovery money to benefit Eagleton, and I think it turned out to be a great venue for baseball and softball.
It's awesome.
If you haven't been driven down there for any reason, for some reason you don't drive that way, if you get the opportunity,
do it.
Take the slow way to Pillissippi and just drive by and look at that. It's amazing.
Sure
Go down
is.
there at night when the lights are on. It's beautiful.
I bet
That's
it is.
beautiful.
So I'm going to pick on Lila, only senior. Are you in charge? Are you the leader?
We both are. She played her 8th grade year, so we've both been here for 4 years. So we're I guess we call ourselves the captains, but.
Okay. So, Coach, do you know who's in charge? I mean, there's a point of who's in charge when you walk off the field and turn your back. Somebody's in charge out there.
They say they are. Sometimes I wonder. But no, it's Lila and Kyla are our two captains, and they do take the approach of yes when I'm not there. So I'm hoping that they do take charge in that. But it's all we have. Our team, for the most part, they all mesh pretty well. We have 8th graders all the way to seniors, so sometimes that's hard. That is hard to mesh when you're going from that young to that old. Yeah. But they do a pretty good job of it, and I trust them.
So I'll put it to them. How do you all manage that? Because you've only got a very limited number of upperclassmen, and you've got what's, for all practical purposes, a young team, and Coach can't be everywhere. So, do you have to? What's it like? What are the responsibilities? Are you to kind of shepherd players around a little bit at the beginning?
I think we try to we realize that they're young, and so realizing how old we are and how young they are, and we try to how do I word this?
We really just take care of them. I guess that's what – I mean, there's really nothing else I can say besides they look up to us, and we try to do our best to be a good example and take care of them.
Well said.
So we'll do the poll question here. So we'll go down the line here because there may not be consensus. You all may not agree on this. But on every team, there is somebody who is in charge and is who everybody looks to because they're the one who has social media feed and has always got everything going up, videos, somebody's the social media queen on the team. Who is the social media queen on this team?
I think it's Kyla. Yes, Kyla. It's definitely Kyla.
Kyla,
for
are you
sure.
going to admit to this?
That's consensus.
She's not confirming.
She
She's giving this like I don't know look.
Probably.
Probably. And what platform?
Everything.
Everything.
I do like all of our game posts. So like one of our assistant coaches will do like a Facebook one. But I've been doing sometimes. Okay, whatever. But I have run the Instagram since probably my freshman year.
So now we know where. And what accounts should people be looking for if they want to follow the Lady Royals?
ECCA.
It's just ECCA softball.
I think so.
It's ECCA softball.
I think.
Yeah.
So you go and look for ECA softball. You can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been holding off. Ella, are you ready? No, she's like, no, I don't want.
Uh-oh, she says.
Uh-oh. So we'll put you on the spot. Are they doing a good job? Is this a good leadership team? And I'll say that because the reason you can tell is when everybody's enjoying going out playing every day is when the sign the team's working well. And that's a lot of pieces coming together. But have they done a good job? Is the team going out and loving to play every day?
Yeah, they have. Lila, she's more of like kind of the people that like gets everyone together and like kind of like cheers everybody up. You can kind of like you can go to both of them and like if you need something, but like I feel like Kyla's more of like the one that you go to.
She's the hard mom.
Yeah. Yes.
She's a mean one.
Okay, so we know who the mean mom is. All right. Okay, so we got that.
It's true.
All right, Coach. If you want to break it down, what's the strength of this team? Is this a team that's going to rely on pitching? Is this a team that looks to out-hit everybody? Is this a team that just plays excellent defense? If you want to characterize this team, what is it shaped up to be?
Well, it all depends on any given game. But offensively, we're going to go how our top four go. Carly Baker, our freshman catcher, is not here today, but she's the other one in the top four. These hit 2, 3, and 4 right here. Carly leads off for us. So we're going to go offensively pretty much how they go. We've kind of hit a little bit of a rut here lately offensively with our top part, but the bottom part has actually picked up. So that's a good thing. But if we can get the top going back again, which I know they will, we're going to be just fine down the road. Ultimately, though, when Ella's on pitching and we can play solid defense behind her, we got a chance to beat anybody that we play.
And you said it yourself. You're sitting 7-0 in the district, so no pressure with this last game, right?
Well, for me, I'm always thinking about it. I try not to, I don't want to put them on the spot, and I want to say yes and no. Yes, you win, and your district champion's outright. But we always face it. It's just another game on our schedule. It's just another game. Yes, this is the game. It was because we talked about it last night. The last 2 games, we struggled a little bit, but they didn't really matter. We won't win them all. It's Tuesday that matters, just so we can finish it off. So it's not I don't want them in mind of like we have to win this game. We got to win this game. Just go out and play and do what we do, and we'll be just fine.
There's no pressure. We got it.
Thank you.
That's a confident pitcher right there.
I like that attitude.
So now we can really apply the pressure because she solidified the fact that she can take it. So Ella, it's bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, bases are loaded. What pitches are you going to go to open up this last batter to get that out?
Rise ball.
She knows that right away. And I'm going to say, so you were the first pitcher this year who has come right up with the answer. Everybody else has kind of done a squint and thought about it.
That's true.
So right to that rise ball. And Coach kind of mentioned it, but you've got a freshman catcher back there, right?
Yes.
So what's the back and forth between the two of you?
She's phenomenal. I mean, if I throw a high pitch, she like levitates like 3 inches off the ground to like catch it. And it's insane. Like you think that it's like going all the way to the backstop and it's caught. And I'm like, what in the world? How did that just happen? But like our connection is like so good. Like we understand each other. She knows whenever I need a break. I know whenever she needs a break. And it's just, we work so well together.
Coach, do they get to call their own pitches, or are you all managing that still?
No, my assistant coach, Andrew Campbell, he calls all the pitches. Now, they can always shake it off sometimes. Most of the time they don't. But and we trust. And Kyla pitches a lot too. We trust them both in those situations. If I feel like that's not what they need to throw, then hey, let us know.
And then I don't think I realized it until you said it, but batting lineup, it's 2, 3, 4 that are in order.
Yeah.
That's a first, I believe, Donnie.
I think you're
I
right.
don't think we've ever had part of the lineup in order.
Had the heart of the lineup in order right here.
So we'll go right to the end. So when you're coming up, what's the confidence level of who's behind you? Does it give you the freedom to just try to get on base knowing you've got good hitters behind you and that this is the frame where you can do something, put something together?
For sure. I have Carly Baker, and I have confidence every time she goes up to bat that she's going to get on. And so my job is to move her, whether that be a bunt, I like bunting, and or just I really like to bunt. But anyways, but if I get on base, I have confidence that Kyla will either get on base and Ella will bring us in, or Kyla will bring us in and Ella will get a hit. So I have lots of confidence at the top of our lineup, for sure.
So do you all line up in the dugout? Some teams do this, not all of them do. Some of them they're standing in order, waiting to go out there. Is that something you all do?
No.
No. Okay. So my favorite poll question. This is the one I love. Who has the most complicated ritual when they go out to bat? Again? Kyla?
Yeah,
Don't
probably.
eat.
I like
Don't
to
eat
take
it.
my time.
Oh, yeah.
I get in trouble for taking too much time, a lot. But that's just how I get hit.
So what is the ritual? What has to happen?
Usually I take either like half a swing or like 2 full swings, and then I'll do a cross, and then I'll like tap it for like 2 seconds, and then I'll get in the box. I'll put 1 foot in, and then like I guess twist my bat, and then like half swing again, and then put my hand up. And my first batting coach ever was Scott Blankenship, and I always do the little foot thing that I was taught when I was like 4 years old, and then I finally get in the box.
I followed most of that. I'm going to say, if softball doesn't work out in your future, line dancing coach may be a thing, because that is as complex a maneuver as I have heard.
Pretty good at it. Just saying.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Coach, I'm going to give you a chance here. Got just a minute or two left, but obviously we mentioned the county's help with the ballpark, but there's a lot of pieces that go into supporting a team and getting the kids to practice and getting practices going and game management. Who all do you need to give shout-outs to for their help so far this season?
Well, definitely our administration, our principal, Mark Dallin, and our head athletic director, Scott West. They do amazing things for all of our programs, and they help us out tremendously. So we couldn't do that, any of what we do, if it wasn't for them. And we appreciate all of our assistant principals. That everybody comes out and supports. It's amazing about our small community is that we have great parents, and our parents are awesome, do a lot for our kids. But the school, you have teachers that come out, assistant principals. At some point in time during the season, somebody's coming out to watch a game, whether it's us, baseball, soccer, whatever it is, basketball, we love this. We love to, and the kids love to see those teachers there. So, and they show up quite often. So it's amazing.
Now this one was something somebody asked me at the paper this week, because we were commenting this has probably been the driest spring we've seen in a decade as far as being able to get games in and not having rainouts and that sort of thing. But if Mother Nature were to get her vengeance and take back the spring in the next couple of weeks, does that facility have the ability that if William Blunt or Heritage is hosting district tournament, they could be moved over there to play on the artificial surfaces?
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Baseball has happened, I think, twice. Softball, we haven't had that happen yet for softball. And last year, we were going to try to make it happen last year, I think, for Heritage. And just because of the construction that was still going on, they wouldn't let them come yet. But, yeah, that's always an option. Always an option.
So, in this one, I'll put to the players, we'll close out on this one. But scenario-wise, we're looking at the standings. We're doing some projections and thinking about what the postseason might look at. But would y'all consider it a good thing or a bad thing if Blount County had 3 softball teams at the state tournament, 1 in each classification, 2, 3, and 4? Would that be a good thing or a bad thing for you guys?
I think it would be great, as long as our name is in there. To the state tournament? What are you looking like that?
Wait, I'm confused. What was
No,
the
like,
question?
is it a good, like, to have 3 Blount County teams at state tournament?
So if Eagleton, Heritage, and William Blount were all at the state tournament,
For sure.
would that be a good thing? I mean, I think Coach could probably help with travel and accommodations and all of that, but
yeah. That would definitely be a good thing.
I mean,
Yes.
we were just looking at it and we're like, you've got 3 really good programs and y'all have played each other some this year, and you know, it just looking at it, it's the strongest possibilities I've ever seen for the county to have 3 teams at one time, just because of the way classifications are.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then with the fact that you throw in Alcoa, of course, too, then you got and Maryville's not out of it either in that topic either. For us to take that, this is what our discussion was from the very beginning of the season. Let's take it one more step. One more step. We made it to sub-state last year, sectionals, one more step, and that's been our goal from the beginning.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to put pressure on you. We're just saying we were thinking about it, like that would be kind of cool because we've had 1 team and we've had 2 teams at one time, but I don't think we've ever had 3 at one time up there, and that would be kind of cool for everybody.
It would.
But we appreciate y'all coming in this morning, getting up. I'm going to give the shout out that y'all came in matching shirts, which is great. I don't know if GoTeez is responsible for that, but just in case they are, we'll give the shout out to Brian that we'll mention him. So anyway, thank you all for coming in, and we wish y'all the best of luck as the postseason gets ready to open.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having us.
Mike, let's go ahead and turn the page.
Okay, it's time to turn the page, and next up is the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the GoTeez Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring Daily Times senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority, proudly serving Blount County for over 100 years. And Marcus Fitzsimmons, you're all warmed up, and you're going to talk some championship basketball, huh?
Well, we could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's something we have talked about several times, but haven't really had the opportunity yet. And finally, we got schedules to work out, and we got Coach Ryan Collins joining us from Alcoa this morning. Coach, thanks for coming in. I know it's been it didn't go just because the season ended, your schedule didn't lighten up any with that. So we appreciate you coming in. Mike says you're in trouble because you didn't bring the championship trophy.
I didn't say that.
I know. I did. I dropped the ball. I'm coming off the youth soccer field. I dropped the ball.
Well, it's so big you can't get it through the door, Marcus. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's the rings.
Oh, okay. All right.
The rings are that big.
Yeah. All right.
I think the rings are bigger than the trophy.
Yeah.
Coach.
But what a great run.
It was a fantastic
What a great run.
And,
yeah.
we didn't really get a chance to talk to you right after it happened, but now that you've had a chance to kind of let it settle, how do you rank this run? Because this was not an Alcoa team that I would think of the 3 championship runs. This was not the one that people would have picked to have been playing in the state tournament, much less playing in the finals.
Yeah, I think oftentimes when you talk about the best stories were the ones that weren't easy. They had the true struggles, the obstacles, and the hero finds a way to kind of overcome and be valiant in victory in the end. And this kind of story has all those components. When you look at our year, it was a difficult one. It was an absolute roller coaster ride. And again, you know, there were some difficult moments in it, and there were a lot of losses in it. You know, I think 13 in particular, we finished the season on a 4-game losing streak. You know, a lot of people along the way probably kind of lost faith in it, and there's no way, you know, they'll be on the top in the end. But at the same time, this one's special to me just because our kids stayed the course. They stayed together. They stayed committed to the mission. They've shared kind of that purpose that kept them going, that kept them fighting the entire time. And sometimes that's what life's all about. Just continue to show up and do the hard work on yourself, continue to show up and do the work, you know, together, and you never know kind of when it's all going to turn. And it ended up turning for us. We played some pretty good basketball down the stretch, and that's when you want to be playing your best basketball. It's a tournament sport, and so, you know, it's better to put it together late than never.
And I think one component that I don't think at the paper we really put it in primary focus until later on, but you know, you had that basketball coach's worst nightmare scenario where you have a starting 5 guy who gets hurt playing football and ends up missing a good chunk of the season while you're waiting for him to come back. So even if you get the situation where you get him back, you've got to get him back in basketball shape, and then you've got to get him back in sync with the team. Can you talk about how that process went? Because that is not the easiest situation to navigate.
Yeah, sure. You know, at Alcoa, we're in a pretty unique situation anyways. You know, you play about the first month of your season with your basketball-only guys, and then you integrate, you know, 50% of your roster football guys coming off a, you know, a state championship in football. And that's a good thing to, you know, have in your program. You're never going to peak too early, but at the same time, you're blowing it up early December. Well, then this year was unique in that, you know, like we find, you know, our footing a little bit coming off of that transition of all the football pieces, and then one of our best players we're trying to integrate in mid-January. And, you know, mid-January, there's no room for error. It's, you know, you're to the point like you've got to kind of put up or shut up. You got to kind of win or go home. And so it's kind of, you know, redefining roles and redefining kind of what schemes we're best at with now Condis, the ball in his hands. And he's a kid that we've had a lot of faith in, obviously. You know, he's performed well in the biggest moments and, you know, downright competitor. He impacts winning on both sides of the ball. But at the same time, it takes time to put it all together. And so we were kind of scrambling. And then, you know, it's unique because there's those struggles that are mounting in the season, and it just doesn't feel like there's a sense of urgency because you don't have your full unit out there. It's like, it's okay. When Condis comes, we're going to be able to put it together. But you don't know whether that's actually going to play out or not. But it was a pretty remarkable thing for him to come back as quick as he did, and for him to play as high a level as he did at the state tournament. there was nobody better in that state championship game, in my opinion. And you saw how much he cared. I knew him taking the last shot last year and coming up short. I knew it really bothered him. But you saw in that second half, especially when we were down 9, how hard he played defensively. Like, he was not going to let this one slip again. And that was cool to see. Him personally overcome a lot of obstacles in a journey back from a tremendous injury, and then to play, how he did in the biggest moment, leads to a special story in its own.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, if the GoTeez Sports page was ESPN, this would be a 30 for 30 that we would be doing a year or two from now, because the story is just so good.
Yeah. And there were times early on, like, you got to remind yourself, like, man, he's just a shell of what he looked like last season. There's no way he's going to get there. And you just tell yourself, like, he's got a steel plate, in his foot, in his ankle, and his leg. Now it's going to be different, a little bit. But, for him to overcome was special.
Does he set off metal detectors at security now?
I don't know about all that, but he could. I mean, it was a significant, surgery, obviously well done, and, everything went well. But he put in a lot of work, and people underestimate kind of what it takes to get back. But it's not easy for a 17-year-old kid to get out of bed at 5:30 and be at the therapy at 6. And, then you transition to school and you're doing, another set of therapy after school. Like, there's a lot of work that comes to, overcoming something like that and coming back from an injury of that magnitude. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, he was doing it because he wanted to be beside those guys on the court when it mattered the most down the stretch.
And I guess one of the other things that stuck out this season was the adversity that went with that, and with some of the other ups and downs. It looked like this team, as a side product of that, developed the ability that anybody could take a big moment if you needed them to.
Yeah,
so we had 4, 5, 6 guys that could put up double figures for you.
We were definitely blessed with depth throughout the year. I think we had 6 or 7 guys throughout the year that had 20 plus in a moment, and you never kind of know whose game it was going to be and who's kind of step up. And then it's kind of like, once that person emerged individually in that game, then you kind of just cater to those strengths and feed the hot hand. But I will say is, like, when you play without Condas for a long time, who's obviously a key piece that you know is coming, it does allow for other people to emerge and expand their roles. And it does suck at the time, because you are struggling without him. But at the end of the day, everybody else is improving and the overall unit is improving. We're adding depth, and that's going to pay great dividends when it matters the most, and it did. But yeah, we ended up, with 6 or 7 guys, who really could impact, winning, and did it at a high level. And that's kind of fun to coach. And I think, it's kind of hard to scout. You don't have to just shut down Jay Kirk, who led us in scoring. It could be anybody at any moment. But yeah, we were definitely blessed with depth throughout the year.
Can you write off some of those names?
Yeah, so, Jay Kirk, state MVP. He's a junior, 6'6", scored all 3 levels, more athletic than I think people give him credit for. And what I was proud of really down the stretch, I thought he defended at a high level down the stretch, and he really rebounded the ball at a high rate. So not only is he pouring in 20-plus and giving you some great value offensively, but, did it on the other end, as well. Another key piece for us, Jabril Coco, senior. He now, is, I think, the one kid in Alcoa history who has 3 state titles, to his name, just a winner, a competitor, best defender down the stretch. Was great in kind of big moments throughout the year, very good at creating an advantage. Jameer Dean Jr., he's just the guy that kind of does everything that leads into winning on both sides of the ball. A great defensive force, but at the same time, you need kind of that timely bucket or that kind of putback. You got a kid like Jacoby Cooper. Nobody would talk about Jacoby Cooper, another senior. He's signed to, go to Tennessee as a preferred walk-on. Everybody's going to talk about his football career. I mean, he's just a solid force, very steady in what he brings to the table every day. And then finally, one more senior, and it's Camden Lankster, his ability to kind of shoot the ball. Really had some games. He was another one. He could be in double figures off the bench, which is huge to kind of have that spark plug coming off the bench. great length. So we were definitely blessed. And then obviously Condas, who we kind of spoke about, but blessed with some depth this year.
So, to look back at the situation, and you kind of touched on, we talked about Condas, but you lose those last 4 games. One of those is a loss to Maryville that I imagine it was an uncomfortable night. You get into the district tournament, and it felt like pieces started to click that had not been clicking the previous 2 weeks. Was there a point where you started saying, these guys are looking like something different? We can do something.
Yeah, I think what was important, our guys never lost belief, and our guys, found a way to just stay the course. And why do you actually stay the course? Because you're not just playing with somebody, you're playing for that person. Like, I'm not going to let go of the rope because I'm playing for the guys who got us here in terms of the past, the guys who have really built this. I can't let go of the rope because I care about those guys, and then it's like I can't let go of the rope and go my own selfish, way or give in and give up because, like, I care about the guy beside me, and I'm going to continue to fight and claw and work for him. But when you look at the end of our schedule, we played as good as it comes in terms of the strengths of his schedule. Maryville, one of the best teams in East Tennessee, played Knoxville Ebb in that stretch, and then Bearden. And, we had Bearden beat in that stretch. We needed that win. And then Jameer got sick, and we lost one to AE, which we probably shouldn't have lost one. But literally, like, you lose 4 games in a row going into the postseason, people have written you off. And then also, like, Maryville beat us like a drum, that night. And it was definitely the naysayers are out, and Alcoa is done. And, that's a wrap for them. But our kids never lost faith. Our kids never lost belief. And, it's not easy to do in life, but you just continue to show up and do the work. And then it was like we got back to the teams on our level. And, I don't know how to describe it, but it was not like we did anything differently. But things just started clicking. And in particular, we started defending at a high level, and we started rebounding the ball, kind of went back to a complete gap scheme. And then the rest is history. But just credit to the kids, because in life that's not easy to do, to when the losses mount and the failures come and the doubters, start their chatter and their noise. It's literally easy to give in and give up, and our kids never did it. They stayed the course.
And Ryan, let me take a different tack here.
Sure.
Considering the departure of Raul Placeres from Maryville College, first of all, give us your thoughts on that departure, and second of all, how do you think if this will affect Blount County basketball in any way?
Extremely excited for Raul. I think he's more than deserving. The question is not, was he deserving of a jump to the highest level? It's like, when was it going to happen, to be honest? But in my time here in Blount County and him recruiting some of our kids and just kind of getting to know him on a personal basis, high character man who operates the right way in all aspects of his life, and then the ultimate competitor. It puts a very good product on the floor, a product togetherness, but they're extremely well coached. So a lot of respect to Raul. I think he recruits well. I think he's going to recruit well. I think it's a great fit. So really excited for him personally to see the jump, and excited for Tennessee basketball in that a school like, Tennessee Tech lands him. You want all those Tennessee schools to do well, even though they're down the road a little bit. It is, I think, a big loss, for Blount County, a person of that magnitude, and he's done a good job in building Maryville kind of back into the national spotlight.
Sure.
And anytime you see somebody like that, take another job, you're excited for him, but it's like, how is that void going to build? How is that excellence going to be sustained? So to an extent, maybe a loss for Blount County, but ultimately, excited for him.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, let me follow up with it, because I've known Raul for many years as well. He's done an outstanding job at Maryville College.
Yeah.
I mean, his level as a coach is above, obviously, the Division III level. He's done everything he can. He's taken the program to the very best. And now here's his opportunity to be coaching at the Division I level, and now being able to say he puts 3-4 years in there, now he's got an opportunity to become a head coach at a higher level.
100%.
And that's what he's got to do in terms of furthering his career.
Sure.
So we're very happy. But at the same time, he's done a great job. and be interesting who's going to be the next guy to follow him.
I agree. Much respect to Raul and what he's built, and definitely excited to see his future play out.
Yeah, we'll we'll keep an ear to the ground on that. We'll see if they stay in the Lambert coaching tree, or if we get somebody new. Coach, somebody made the comparison to me, and the more I've thought about it, the more I've thought, there is some similarity. I don't know if it comes with a little bit of like holy water to a vampire when I make the comparison for you guys at Alcoa, but the Maryville football team, one of Coral's first teams, that started off 0-3 and then came back and went all the way and won a state championship. I didn't think it was a really great comparison. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, there is a lot of similarity there because of some of the things that went on injury-wise and some other things that they encountered back there. Is this one going to be special for you because this was the one that nobody expected? Is it going to stand out more than the ones where you were a contender from preseason on that people were expecting you to be there?
It's definitely, going to be special. And again, just to reiterate, I think the best stories are the ones where it wasn't easy, right? Those are the ones you're just like absolutely beaming with pride to tell. And I am beaming with pride to tell a story of 12 kids that stayed the course through the thick and thin and ultimately continued to show up for one another each and every day. Not easy to do in life. But at the end of the day, they're all special. At the same time, kind of once you get to the top of the mountain, and we've been fortunate to do so a couple times now in the past couple years, like it's all very fleeting. And what you appreciate the most, I think, is the journey. You're going to go back and actually appreciate being in the fire with 12 other men and finding a way to the other side. Sounds weird to say now, easier to say now than when you were in it a couple months ago. And then, the other thing I think that gives that kind of forever joy is just the relationships. And, this is going to not only enhance that kind of relationship to an extent to win at the highest level, but there's just something that when you see those kids, again, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, it's like you just beam with that pride of like, man, I love you. I'm proud of you. We did something special, together. And I think that's ultimately what we're chasing is the relational aspect. So this one's special. I'm proud to tell it, but yeah, I feel the same way about all of them.
Marcus, if you don't mind to let me
Go ahead.
butt in, I want to know, since we have Coach Collins in, obviously you've won with this team that, like Marcus said, nobody expected, made the run. You've won with Javon Carter leading the way, one of the most electric scorers in Tennessee basketball history recently. Just what's the key to sustaining success at the high school level and not only – winning championships like y'all have, but always being in the mix at the end of the year? What's the key that's
I'm very proud to say, I think we truly built a program of sustained success. And I think as a coach, as a leader, that's what you want. You remove any one of the pieces, whether it's a player graduating or even if I left, like the program itself is now to a point where that sustained success is going to continue. So some of the narrative, centered around Javin's 2 years to an extent is you had the best player on the floor. You have a generational player playing for you. You should win at a high level. Your team should win at a high level. The coach should win at a high level. The only reason you won is because you have the best player and you have the best piece. And then transition to last year, Javin graduates, Javin's, then at Penn State, and you have a group that it's kind of like, okay, now that the generational players out of there, they have no kind of big names, what's going to happen to Alcoa basketball? And it didn't miss a beat, and that's due to our senior leadership. I mean, you talk about kids like Eli Graff and Morrow Ale and, Joseph Carter, just, kids that maybe, don't have the biggest of names, but they're winners. They understand what it takes to win. And then transition to this year, and it's, the same thing. Again, we kind of had our struggles, but our kids understand kind of it takes what it takes, understand, how to operate and kind of carry that sustained success. But, ultimately you got to put in the work. There's got to be a certain level of togetherness that I think is necessary, and you got to have a shared common purpose. And I think that's where the difference has come for our teams is that shared common purpose. When it does get difficult and the walls are in front of you, how are you going to find a way to the top of it and just keep going it's that concept of I'm playing for something bigger than myself. I'm playing for the guy next to me. So a culmination of good things. We've had good players, but also I think our players have bought into a model that is sustainable in that shared purpose.
Coach, we appreciate you coming in, and Donnie's been giving me the signal, but I'm
Yeah,
going to give you
sorry.
one last one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one last one. Back in the first hour of the show, Coach Iruli was talking about a spring game up at Carson Newman, and you just mentioned the same name.
Yeah.
So even though it's different sports, but coach to coach, what does it mean when you have Eli Graff on your team? Because we were just talking about him being going into fall camp now as the #1 quarterback.
Yeah, I heard he had a heck of a spring, which I'm excited about, and I heard he kind of made some noise to put himself in a position maybe as a starting QB.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody else may be surprised. I'm not surprised. Eli Graff is nothing but a winner. He is the ultimate competitor. Does not matter the sport. He's so consistent in how he operates and who he is. I think, he does what he does just because he's a kid of high character, but he does what he does because he's very consistent in his approach. Sure. Like, I loved coaching him. It does not matter the sport. He's just type of kid, like, put your money behind him in life. Like, he's a winner. It's the first thing that kind of comes to mind. But I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited for Carson Newman football.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you just can't – if you go by measurements, height, weight, it's not quite – but it's those intangibles you just can't measure. And that's what he has and possesses. And
100%. There's so many reasons physically to write him off. And then it's
Sure.
like, if you write him off, man, are you making a mistake because you just can't measure the amount of heart and the intangibles and everything else he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Your program's going to win with him as the leader.
I mean, when I see our defensive line coach, our secondary coach, our wide receiver, he makes a play and everyone's saying, wow. I mean, you're exactly right. And he loved his time at playing for Alcoa basketball. There's no doubt about it.
Well, we loved this time coaching him. We were very blessed to coach a kid like him, and have him kind of leading the way for us.
Coach, like I said, we appreciate you coming in and visiting with us about that great championship run. No pressure to do it again, but we'll put it out there that you do. Maybe next time Josh will let you bring the trophy in. So
that's it. Next time I got you on the trophies, we'll bring a couple of them in for you.
But congratulations, team! Congratulations for a great run, great season, and a great story. And we're going to wish you the best of luck going into the summer because you got to start splitting time and get ready for next year.
That's it. Back to work.
All right, Coach. We appreciate it, Mike. We'll go ahead and turn the page.
Okay, time for break. When we return, it's the Boys Sports Spotlight with Donnie Moore. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925. Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com. For over 50 years.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd Sports Spotlight segment with Donnie Moore. And I know you got a lot on your agenda, but I want to mention, and we haven't talked a lot about it this year, but Rory McIlroy, what a job he did down at the Masters.
Boy, not the truth.
Hey, he went back-to-back down there, and there's only been 3 other guys to do that, Donnie.
Yeah, that's right.
Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods. And
those 3.
Boy, he had the big
now
lead.
4.
He had the big lead down there, and it had all faded away. And by golly, you talk about a guy that had all the pressure on him, and, man, he finished the job down there. And
he sure
won
did.
it back-to-back.
Cool as a cucumber.
Hats off to that deal. A great sports story there.
Yeah, indeed.
Mike. They did really a great job putting that Masters tournament together. I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, it was exciting at the very end. And I think this is the first time they've had so many awards in competition to winning it. I mean, there's like 5 or 6.
Yes, went right down to the wire.
Yeah.
The only disappointing thing is, we had that, it warmed up here, and then we had the cold spell, and the azaleas, weren't as in full bloom as they have been in the past. But still, it's a great tournament.
Beautiful course too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's get right to the sports headlines. Brought to you as always by our friends at Fast Signs.
Good follow through.
The San Diego Padres are reportedly finalizing the sale of the franchise to Jose E. Feliciano. No relation to the singer, the blind singer. No.
Oh, sure.
Clear Lake, he's the owner of Clear Lake Capital, co-founder, and also co-owner of the Chelsea Football Club, soccer team in England. And his wife, Kwanzaa Jones, she's also involved in the sale. This is for a Major League Baseball record price of $3.9 billion.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The deal is expected to be announced in the coming days. The Padres' ownership situation has been uncertain since the death of beloved owner Peter Seidler in November of 2023. If the $3.9 billion sale price holds up, it would be the largest sales price of a franchise in Major League Baseball history. The current record belongs to Steve Cohen, who purchased the New York Mets in 2020 for $2.4 billion. The Padres are currently valued by Forbes magazine at $3.1 billion and were last purchased in 2012 for $800 million.
Oh, it made some money.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, the Washington Commanders unveiled a new alternate helmet logo on Wednesday. The new logo shows a spear intertwined with the team's W, which is the team's primary logo. Well, somebody had something to say about that already. The Association on American Indian Affairs spokesperson had this to say, and this is a quote. The Washington Commanders' decision to update their logo is disappointing and inappropriate, to say the least. It is time to stop repeating this cycle and listen to Native peoples who have been clear, consistent, and unwavering on this issue. We are not your mascot.
Well, all I know is that they did a poll on that, and 90% of Native Americans approve of the Redskins.
Well, the leadership doesn't.
Yeah, whoever leadership's are.
I don't think there's a team that changes their logo more than Washington.
I know, yeah, they wear it out, just changing it regularly.
Well, it's the territory they're in there,
Every 4 years, roll it over.
That's true. That's true.
Right, I'll hope we're still on. Go Redskins. All right.
Jim Jabir, who won 500-plus games as a Division I women's college basketball coach and guided Dayton to the Elite Eight in 2015, has died after a battle with pancreatic cancer.
God bless him.
He was 63 years old and had been Dayton's head coach from 2003 to 2016, leading the Flyers to 8 consecutive seasons of at least 20 wins. Wow. Pretty successful coach.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, after a disappointing finish in Japan, 4-time world champion Formula One driver Max Verstappen is beyond frustrated because of the changes in car designs for this season. Max says the cars are no fun to drive anymore because the F1, the administration, places more emphasis on electrical power than driver skill. Verstappen has said that he's considering walking away from the sport at the end of the season.
All right.
I think a bigger explanation for this would be the fact that Verstappen won 4 championships. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think that's what I read right. And he dominated all 4 of those championships. He's not dominating anymore.
No, he's not.
Well,
and that'll take a little bit of the fun out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why
it's
he's not
as much
having
fun to lose, is it?
Exactly.
Formula One was so big and had this big fan base, and then changed everything to go electric. You already have Formula E. Why do you need to go electric with the main cars? And then you watch the races.
That's part of it. Listen to those engines roar.
To charge this battery, you have to coast So instead of going, 200 kilometers or whatever down a straightaway, they're just rolling, charging the battery. It's terrible. It's not fun to watch.
Well, he says he's not having any fun
No, and
anymore.
they keep ruining it, and they say that the cars can race closer. Yeah, everything's slower. If I wanted to watch, slow cars race, I go watch your Indy car, Mike.
There you go.
Oh, my
No,
God. Boy, was that a shock.
Formula One doesn't hold a candle to the speed of those Indy cars.
If I wanted to watch slow racing, I'd go down to Smoky Mountain
Now,
down here.
if you want to talk technology, there's the Formula
Super
One
stocks
technology's ahead of IndyCar.
And if
but
you
not
want to watch
speed.
NASCAR, you just go Alcoa Highway. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. Or Pellissippi.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Well-
if you want to make Formula E interesting, they need to combine it with
That
the
should be
that
interesting.
drone racing league. And if you take that to the step of what we're seeing in parts of the world right now, you arm the drones so they can shoot at the cars. That'll take care of some of the
This was,
coasting
there you
opportunities.
go.
You sound like Cars 2 almost, where they're racing and you're
It
blowing
does,
up the
doesn't it?
engines.
Well, let's move to IndyCar. The 5th race of the IndyCar season will be in Long Beach this weekend, and the odds makers have placed surprise Alex Palou.
Well, that was a hard decision. On
Top of the list of drivers
He's
who
won
could
half
win.
the races.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a road course, of course,
Right.
and Palou is followed by Kyle Kirkwood, which is last year's victor, Christian Lundgaard, Scott McLaughlin, and Pato O'Ward.
Yeah, and
The
all
first
those guys
five
are
right
with
there.
dominant teams.
Yes.
I mean, big teams.
High dollar
teams. And
You're right.
Anyway, Palou, they're going to have to figure out a way to catch him. Right
Oh,
now,
I know.
right now, nobody can touch him.
He's hard to handle right now.
He's outstanding. And
Yep.
if he keeps it up, in his championships with IndyCar, I would like to see him and what he can do in Formula One.
Yeah, move him up a league.
Yeah, I'd like to see what he could do on that stage.
I don't know if he'd be used to driving electric.
Because in IndyCar, he's won several championships, and he's won the Indy 500 now. So maybe it's something that needs to be looked at. And,
Well, in the end, the green flag at Long Beach is scheduled to drop at 5:57 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
5:57.
Yeah, well, that's 3 o'clock air time.
Yeah,
That's right. All right, let me give you a quick list here of the top 5 highest-paid college basketball coaches.
Oh, there we go. We like to talk about money.
Yes,
Get
we do.
through that because I'm going to talk about some money again.
Coming in at number 5, Rick Barnes of Tennessee, $6.2 million.
There you go.
Total contract.
There you go.
Number 4, Tom Izzo of Michigan State, $7.2 million yearly. Number 3, John Calipari of Arkansas, $7.2 million. Number 2, Dan Hurley of Connecticut, coming in at $8 million, and then the highest-paid college basketball coach, you could guess it, Bill Self of Kansas, coming in at $8.9 million yearly.
Not bad. Which one won the national championship out of those 5?
Right.
Oh, I guess not, huh?
Yeah.
No.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
Don't pay the coach, pay the players, right?
That's right.
That's
Pay
right.
the players.
Yep.
Save that money.
Yeah.
Planning
Get
on
your
a
priorities right.
Are anybody planning on attending the FIFA World Cup matches at the Meadowlands in New Jersey? In a
No,
week
I can't
or so?
get a ride up there.
No.
Tony, you going? I can catch a ride with Tony O'Reilly.
Well,
Donnie, that's a big assumption.
well, yeah, it is.
That we're
but it's
going to
not-
have. That we're even going to
imagine
still
you and I
have a
on the
World
road trip?
Cup.
Yeah.
That
Get
is
on
true.
up there.
Well, if you do, you better bring lots of cash. There will be no parking at MetLife Stadium for the 8 game days, and train tickets to the
I heard that,
stadium
yeah.
and back to available parking will run $150 each.
And it's what regularly $13.
About 13
I don't know.
bucks,
When
yeah.
I went to watch the Saints play the Giants last year, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say it was $13. I'm pretty sure it was maybe 10 round trip.
Wow.
Because the train station's right next to the stadium, and they tell you go through this thing, you scan this thing with your phone, and you can go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
$150.
Well, maybe the mayor of New York City can just step in there and get that taken care of.
Yeah, you never know.
I guess it's technically New Jersey, right?
Is it New Jersey?
It is New Jersey.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
Meadowlands
think
is
so.
in New Jersey.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
My bad.
Let's move to some items that happened on this day in sports, April the 18th. 1945, Pete Gray goes 1 for 4 in a game for the St. Louis Browns. He's an outfielder. He only had one arm.
One arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beat great.
So that's Pete Gray. 1946, Jackie Robinson debuts at second base for the Montreal Royals. That was a farm club of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Right.
1964, Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax KOs the whole side on 9 pitches for the 3rd time in his career. Struck out all 3 batters in the inning. 9 pitches.
What a player he was.
He was.
Almighty.
1966, Bill Russell becomes the first African-American coach in the NBA. What team?
Boston Celtics.
Celtics, right. Good job. 1968, the first American Basketball Association championship series started on this day. 1982, Braves win their record 11th straight season opener over the Astros.
Very good.
11 years.
What year was that?
That was 1982. 82. Yep.
So I guess Charlie wasn't pitching.
No.
Okay.
1987, Mike Schmidt hits his 500th home run versus the Pirates.
Man, what a player he was.
He was a player, wasn't he? 1991, John Stockton breaks his own NBA season assist record of 1,136. Boy, he could dish it out, couldn't he?
Nothing like breaking your own record.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, he had some pretty good players to dish it to.
He sure did. 1995, quarterback Joe Montana announces his retirement from football. Oh, he was a great one. He was great. 1998, another quarterback, Peyton Manning, is the first pick in the NFL draft for the Colts.
That was a pretty good pick.
That was a pretty good pick, Tony.
Good enough to be the #1 pick, but not good enough to win the Heisman.
Nope.
Figure that out.
1999, Wayne Gretzky plays his final game in the National Hockey League on today's date. Just a couple of birthdays, and I'll be done. 1962, Wilbur Marshall, Hall of Fame linebacker, Florida, the Bears, Redskins. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. Born in Titusville, Florida.
Legend.
You know where that is, Tony?
Yep.
Donnie, I want to back up.
A lot of orange groves.
Yeah.
Donnie, I want to back up to that one a second.
Okay.
Because it talks something we were mentioning earlier. You talk about Peyton being the pick of that draft.
Yes.
When we talk about these recruiting services and all the analysis and the stuff that goes into when you become a pro and get drafted, you got to remember there were 2 guys that they were, Peyton, and there was another guy they were talking about who was going to be the greatest quarterback ever in that draft.
Who was it? The one?
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf. That's right.
And you talk about 2 totally different professional career paths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when we talk about these fans get all, we've got the 5th pick this year. We've got to get this quarterback.
Yeah.
There is no guarantee on any of this stuff of who's going to be your next NFL starting quarterback versus who's going to be there for a year or 2 and then be gone.
Yeah, and Ryan Leaf, great talent, but there is
didn't translate to the pro game.
Personality, a lot of things.
He just wasn't a good fit in the NFL.
Wasn't a good fit, and I thought I saw something like a couple of days ago that the #1 quarterback picks, they have not even gone to the Super Bowl or something like that the last 15 years or so. There's some stat like that, but yeah, you're not guaranteed.
It's all a gamble.
No, it is. It
of the running backs drafted in the first round in the last 20 years, only one has been to a Super Bowl.
Really? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's not running back. It's not running back league anymore.
Well, yeah, they don't even draft running backs high anymore because you get a couple hits and you're done.
Yep, that's true. One more birthday of note, 1983, born on this day, Miguel Cabrera.
There you go.
Biggie.
21 seasons with the Marlins and the Tigers, born in Maracay, Venezuela.
Very good. Heck of a
Miggy.
player. Heck of a player and all that.
Oh, he was.
No one died on this day?
Nothing. No one of any any particular note.
Good.
That I know of.
Made it.
That's all for this
All
week's
right.
Sports Headlines, brought to
We're
you
all
as
good.
always by Fast Signs. I'm Donnie Moore. Back at you, Gunner.
Hey, this is Mike Edwards, and I'm here with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, Tony Iruli, and Caleb Giroux. And got some interesting points here. We were talking earlier in the show about the transfer portal and how guys were either deciding to stay in school or go for the money in the pros and so forth and so on. One of the things that they have now in the college basketball draft, first of all, Tony, I really got more teams.
Yep.
They got 30 teams. 1973, they didn't have near as many teams. They had 2 leagues. Had NBA, had ABA. Also, NBA teams could not go into the college ranks until you graduated in 1973. They could not. They could not draft you as an underclassman, and also today they do a little bit more specializing. I think in today's draft and today's picks on teams, I think they would be a little bit more. It would be a little more welcoming for a deep shooter, a deep 3-point shooter. Whereas back in my day, they didn't have the 3-point line except for the ABA. Now they got the 3-point line. So if you got somebody that's a great deep shooter out there, although he's lacking in maybe some of the other team skills, that team might go ahead and take you at that particular at this particular point. The way it's set up. And there's also more players on a roster, 15 players on a roster now. Back in my day, there was about 12 players.
Y'all didn't have the G League either, did you?
Did not have the G League. And here's one that a lot of people don't realize. Being a number 1 pick did not guarantee you 2 years on the roster. In fact, when I was drafted by the Indiana Pacers in 1973, they did not keep their number 1 pick. The Pacers did not keep their number 1 pick in 1973 in the ABA. Salaries, quite a bit different.
Yep.
I signed a bonus salary with the Pacers for $3,000, and I computed that this morning. That is $22,900 by today's standards. Now listen to this. If I'd had some really good advice back then and had invested that $3,000 in the S&P 500, without putting any more money in there, it would have accumulated to $693,843. But being a young buck like I was, Tony Iruli, I took that $3,000, got married, and bought us a brand new car. Huh?
Well,
how about that deal?
Well, in the long run, you probably made a better investment, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah, we've been married 50. We're going on 53 years.
53 years. Now you're going to have to ask her. She thought that was a good investment.
Yeah. It was the car that did it.
It was the car that did it.
I believe it was the car that did it.
What'd you get? What was the car?
Yeah, it was a 1973 Cutlass Supreme.
Ooh, you went
Cutlass
big
Supreme
time.
back
Nice car back then, buddy.
Yeah.
Those were nice vehicles.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
I had a Maverick.
We got some time here before we go to break. I want to talk about last week. While we're back on the old days, ex-UT baseball player Phil Garner, passed away there, and he played here at Tennessee and played on the Pirates in their World Championship
Graduated
team.
from
in fact, he was the MVP in the series in 1979, and 3-time Major League Baseball All-Star, 76, 80, and 81. 16 years Major League career with the A's, Pirates, Astros, Dodgers, and Giants, and then became a manager with the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Astros. Took the Astros to the 2005 World Series. And, of course, his jersey's retired over there. Tony Iruli, he made his mark on baseball.
Yeah,
didn't he?
what a great player he was. A graduate of Bearden High School.
Yes, local guy.
And he's originally from Dandridge. But his family, his dad moved him to Bearden. I read about it over the weekend. His dad moved it to Bearden because there was no good football up there.
Yeah.
So he played quarterback for Bearden and then went and played baseball at UT.
1970, played and graduated same time I did. So we were there in the athletic dorm, ate there in the hall, and completed our 4 years together. I remember him there.
Yeah.
And they had another guy on that team named Sam Ewing, and they thought he was a better prospect than Garner.
And I don't see his name on the outfield wall.
No. He kind of went by the wayside, and Phil Garner made a name for himself. Yeah.
While we're on the subject of local legends, Mike, we had another passing this week of a fairly fairly much of a legend here in Blount County and Loudoun County. Charles Bailey passed away this week.
I didn't realize that.
He's an FHS grad, played for my dad at Friendsville, and great athlete, but he was also he went on to be even a better administrator and coach.
Yeah.
At Greenback, had a career at Greenback, assistant principal.
I met him a couple times.
Great guy. I know he will be sorely missed.
But he was down at Greenback all those.
Oh yeah.
The whole
many
time.
years.
Yeah.
Donnie, this is a dumb question. It's randomly. It's come up several times, and I don't know the answer. But the new Friendsville school is down there. I know that they've got the football field, like the football bleachers and stuff are still there from the high school.
They are.
Is that gym the one that was there for the high school, or is that a new gym?
That is the one that was there when I went to school there. The original gym burned, I want to say, in the early 50s, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. But it burned completely.
But the elementary
to the
school
ground.
has the last high school gym.
Yes. The Friendsville gym is the one that they built to replace that one when it burned, and has been there since the 60s.
Good grief.
Yeah, at least.
Getting their money's worth out of that gym.
Yeah, I just wonder
it's
because
not a bad facility either for a high school.
I mean, that one in Porter and Walland, they were high schools at one point, and now they're elementary schools, and sometimes you wonder what is left from that original high school when you go out there and look at those schools, and you wonder has that always been a field? Has that always been the gym sort of thing? I was just curious.
Yeah, that is the gym that I played in the mid-'70s. So
is your name in there anywhere? Or?
I don't think so for basketball. No, football, baseball, probably, but not basketball. I played, but that's about it.
And you did well.
I did the best I could.
You did good, man. Well, but again, going back, that's a shame that he's passed away. I mean, he was absolutely a legend.
Oh, yeah.
In so many
Charles
different ways and all that. And so God bless him and his family.
Prayers for his family.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Time for break?
It's time for a break.
Time for
Mike,
break.
so
And when we
let's go ahead
return,
and do
we'll be
it.
back to talk some UT football as they closed out their spring football practice. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensonTire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, the Greenville Gunner, and I'm here with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons and Caleb Giroux and Coach Tony Iruli. And before we get started on some UT spring football, Caleb, you were over at the stadium last night to watch Tennessee take on Ole Miss in the first of a 3-game series. And golly, I don't know if you're like me, but I was hoping everything was the ship was starting to right. But last night they took a step back, losing to the Rebels 7-4.
Yeah, you got an uncharacteristically bad start out of Landon Mack, which kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. And the old saying around Tennessee is solo home runs won't kill you, but it killed them last night.
Yeah.
And the offense,
enough of them will.
The offense kind of flashed at Mississippi State, and you started to wonder, is that going to be a flash in the pan, or is that going to be what you expect consistently? And last night the offense didn't follow that up with a great night. Struggled with Ole Miss's starter. He was kind of a crafty lefty and never really had any life outside of a couple home runs and hits here and there. But strikeouts. 4 innings last night ended by a strikeout, and they stranded. I think it was 9 or 10 batters on base. So not a good night overall offensively, especially when you get an uncharacteristic start from your starter. And they don't have it any easier tonight because Ole Miss is rolling out a top MLB draft prospect in Townsend to start tonight.
Well, they still got 2 games left, so they can still take the series, which is the good news. And they got a good series sweep last weekend in Starkville, and Ole Miss broke their 5-game winning streak, UT's 5-game winning streak. So anyway, We'll see how that turns out tonight. That's a 6 o'clock start, and then on Sunday
moved up to 4 because of rain.
Oh, is
today,
it
Mike.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, they got rain in the 4 o'clock?
They said it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain tonight. So.
There ain't no way it's going to rain here. we haven't seen rain since when?
Rain? What's that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for correcting that. 4 o'clock start, and then tomorrow it's scheduled at 1 o'clock for the final. The Tennessee softball girls, they played at Alabama, or not Alabama. Where am I at here? They played at Duke last Wednesday, away from home, lost 6-3. There at Duke. That was an outstanding Duke team that they played there. They were down 5-0 at one point in that game and came back, and almost pulled it out.
Duke did to them what they did to Kentucky on Monday.
Yeah.
If you watch that that was probably the best first inning Lady Vols had all season, including with that fantastic winning streak they had to start the season. But they went up and they chased the pitcher in 3 batters and had we'll say single walk, home run. I mean, it was 5-0, and they were cruising. And then they turn around, they travel a day and go over to Duke and did not swing anywhere near as well as they did on Monday. 21 runs up there in Kentucky to just 3 runs for the Wildcats. They're off. They're off this weekend, and they'll softball, Lady Vol softball team will play Alabama next weekend for a series. There's where I was thinking about Alabama there a second.
Vanderbilt doesn't field a softball team, so all the SEC teams get to take a week off.
Yeah.
Hey,
what'd you say?
Yeah. Vanderbilt doesn't have a softball team.
Is that right?
So in the SEC slate,
Vanderbilt doesn't
right.
think of bowling instead of softball.
Yeah. So during the SEC slate, teams can either take a weekend off or play a non-conference series.
What about that?
Like LSU will go play Louisiana Lafayette for a weekend or something like that, but Tennessee's taking it off.
Caleb, you were over at the UT spring football game last Saturday. I want to get your thoughts and observations. What'd you learn?
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you right now, it's blowing me away.
Hey, we joked about it, but Donnie said make sure Tennessee gets a win, and Tennessee did not win its spring game. Tied.
It was a tie.
Yep, it tied 10-10. It was not a very good offensive showing.
I just didn't know you could pull that one off, Caleb.
The problem with these spring games too is everybody's going to read into it a ton. A lot of starters were out, starting offensive linemen were out, receivers were out, so that made it difficult. But the defense looks good, and they've got a lot of positions open, which I think will be a big step up from last year, where the defense was near last or dead last in the SEC. It felt like every Saturday Tennessee would get in a 3rd and 5 on defense and give up 15 yards, get in a 3rd and 2 and give up 10 yards. So I think the defense will be better. With that being said, that means the offense didn't look too good. There weren't any interceptions or anything, but quarterbacks didn't show very much. I think George McIntyre led the way and didn't complete a pass over 18 yards the whole day. And then he only had 1 pass over 12 yards, and it was the 18-yard pass. So lots of dink and dunk, not a lot of deep balls completed. The freshmen did freshman things. And then, the backups had some fireworks. Ryan Staub threw a 70-something yard touchdown to former PAL receiver Carson Whitehead, but it's 2 third stringers going at it there. And he burnt Zay Anderson from Greenville, which, Alcoa did the same thing a couple months ago. So take that with what you wish.
I'm amazed how you're able to connect all these things. Man, you do your homework really good.
Let's talk about these quarterbacks. I don't mean to take what you're saying here with any concern, but yes, I am concerned. If you just got done talking here, are we any closer to announcing a quarterback, or is this going to go into the fall?
I think
who, in your opinion, looked the best?
So every quarterback competition Josh Heupel has had, he hasn't announced a quarterback until after the second scrimmage of fall camp. So I think we'll probably be on that same trajectory. I mean, George McIntyre looked all right stats-wise. He was 105 yards on 15 of 22, nothing flashy. Faison Brandon, the 5-star freshman, was 36 yards on 6 of 16. And then third-string Ryan Staub out of Colorado was 132 yards on 7 for 12. Nobody threw a touchdown. Nobody did anything special. If it was me, I would project today. I think you need to go with the 5-star freshman Faison Brandon and take your lumps. Obviously, George McIntyre has a better understanding of the offense, but he's been here a year. He gained 20 pounds in a year, and he's a skinny guy. So he's still 202 pounds, 6'6". For comparison, Nate Ament, who is also a skinny guy at 6'10", and he's playing basketball. George McIntyre wasn't playing. Nate Ament's a starter on the basketball team. He gained 20 pounds in 3 months since arriving at Tennessee, going through summer conditioning and everything. So that shows, I mean, if you're not able to put in the work to gain the weight off the field, how are you going to play SEC football and maintain that weight? Faison Brandon comes in. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. He looks the part, very athletic. He's got some footwork issues, and he's learning the offense, sure, but his arm talent is there.
I'm not coaching this football team, but I'm interested in, did you see in these 3 quarterbacks, who had the best mobility back there? Who was able to run, throw, move, do the things that can make things happen on the field? Are we going to be looking at a drop back quarterback? Or
I don't think
somebody that can have some mobility and run, make some first
I
downs?
think they'll be a lot close. I think the good comparison is what Hendon Hooker was, where when you describe him, you don't call him a dual threat, but if he looks down the field and everything's covered, he can run 5-10 yards.
Sure.
I think both quarterbacks can get you that. George McIntyre and Faison Brandon are both athletic. I don't think either of them are run-first quarterbacks, but they're both guys you can run with. But again, do you feel comfortable running with the 6'6", 202-pound quarterback who looks like a stick, or are you comfortable with the guy who looks like a middle linebacker? It all depends on that. But I think both can run. I don't think either will be run first. I don't think either will be statues in the pocket either. But both young guys again. And like I said, if I had to put money on it, if I was coaching today, I'd say you probably should roll out Faison Brandon game 1. But again, a lot can happen over the summer and the fall, and a lot can change.
Yeah, I was down there for practice as well last week as well. I was impressed with their defense. Jim Knowles is the defense for Penn State. Yep. Long-time defensive coordinator. He was at Maryland, Penn State.
Got a championship at Ohio State.
Ohio State. Just a quality. He's got some really good defensive coaches as well. A couple he brought with him from Penn State. And so I think on the defensive side, I mean, it's going to be good and solid and very well coached.
That being said, Tony, are we looking for a low-scoring Tennessee football team this year?
Well, I'm not an expert on offense, as you know, some of my good friends around this table would say that. All right, but I don't know. It's the one quarterback. You said he threw for about 110 yards on 15 completions. That's about 8 yards a completion.
Yeah,
and
they did. The secondary,
there's a lot of dinking and dunking going on.
The secondary in both the scrimmages closed to the public and the one open has not given up many deep balls, which last year they'd get blown up over the top, give up stuff on third down. And I think it's a credit to Jim Knowles. Yep. They turned over that roster, brought in athletes. And also, he brought in his former players and his former coaches to teach the system, which I think is
correct. Right. No, they still have Rodney Gardner is the defense.
Well, he can teach anything.
Yeah, he can teach anything, and so so he's been around the SEC for many years.
Let me ask you this: what kind of depth has that defense got? Because it sounds like, from what we're hearing right here, that they might be on the field a little bit next year.
They have depth. I think you could easily roll out a defensive line is the question mark, I think, but your secondary and linebackers, you've got a lot of guys for not a lot of starting spots. So people are going to be competing. People are going to be rotating in and out. I think the big question will be what you have at edge rusher, because Chaz Coleman's homesick. He's in and out. Yep. And you've got some young guys there. I think edge rusher and defensive line will be the question, but your linebacker core is deep and your secondary is
deep. Who does Tennessee open up with?
Furman and then Georgia Tech.
Real quick, I know there was a lot of short passing, getting read on the receivers.
Yeah, I think for the guys who are out there, they're really good. Tristan Keys, he's a 5-star freshman from Mississippi. Tennessee got. He looks the part. He looks good. Braylon Staley looked good. You still had a couple drops from some of the younger guys. Ra Thomas, for example, had a drop. Travis Smith, massive receiver, he had a drop. So you start to wonder about that, but all things considered, they look pretty good, I think.
Defense. How's the kicking game look?
They got a kicker in the portal, and he's actually good. So I don't. He didn't miss. That's all that matters, right?
All right.
Guys, hey, Mike, before we run, Mike.
Thanks. Huh?
Before we run. Save the date, May 13th.
Yes.
Sports Page Awards are coming up.
Yes.
Check the Facebook page, and we'll have all the details coming up there in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for everybody coming in this morning. It's always fun with all of you.
It's been a good day.
And hopefully we'll see you all back here next week. Donnie, you ready to blow that whistle? There we go. Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host, the Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. For Donnie Moore, Marcus Fitzsimmons, Caleb Giroux, and Tony Iruli. Until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.